Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back on our Fortnite video. And in today's video, I want to be going over the best console and sensitivity settings that I use. And the reason why I'm going to do another settings video is because editing sensitivity came out. So I'm going to be diving into all of my settings and then going into exactly what I use and why I use those settings. And for the gameplay in the background, it was an insane gameplay. It was a 24 kill in duos. I should have broke my record. My record for kills is 25. I really should have had like 26 or 27 kills this game, but I ended up getting really unlucky on a few kills, and the last guy ended up dying to fall damage when he was really weak after I tagged him a ton with my scar. But anyways, I'm going to be showing all of my settings in this video and explain exactly why I use those settings. And before we get into the video, I have a V-Buck giveaway. If you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you need to do is to drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on my notifications, and leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And in this video, make sure you guys have me supported as a creator on the item shop. All you need to do this is go to the item shop, hit X, type in Young Humor. That's all you have to do, and you will have me added and supported as a creator. And alright guys, let's go right to the video. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to be diving into all of my settings in this video. I'm going to be going over X and Y sensitivity, but I really wanted to focus on this video when it comes to editing sensitivity, because that is the new sensitivity that came out. And for those of you guys who don't already know, it's pretty much binded to your building sensitivity. So whatever your building sensitivity is, that is going to be your editing sensitivity. So your X and Y sensitivity could be an 8.8, but if your building sensitivity is a 1.45, then your editing sensitivity is going to be the exact same, which is really cool considering the fact that when you're building, it's going to be the exact same speed as your editing speed. So if you have a very fast building sensitivity, you're going to be able to edit more quickly. But at the same time, being able to edit more quickly doesn't mean it's going to be more efficient or overall going to be easier to control. And when this update first came out, honestly, when I first tried out my new editing sensitivity, and it's pretty much, it was the exact same thing as I had before. And so when the update came out, and I just noticed that my editing was quite a bit quicker and everything felt a little bit more fast. And honestly, it felt almost too fast, but at the same time, I couldn't lower my building sensitivity. So I was kind of messing around with it a little bit, but now after I'm looking at it, I think I'm going to raise it again. But here on the screen, I'm going to show exactly what my current settings are, and I'm honestly going to change them, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly what I'm going to change them to. So here are the settings that I have currently. It's pretty much, I've been rocking the same settings for a really long time, but there is quite a few things that I want to talk about when it comes to these settings. So obviously the new update, it made it very specific. You can go all the way down to, I think, the thousandth place. I think that's the name of the place. I haven't even taken math in like 2 or 3 years, so my math is kind of sketchy. So I think it's the thousandth place, and I can't even say it either. I don't know why I can't say it, but anyways, for that place, it makes it even more specific. So if you wanted to change up your sensitivity, maybe you felt like it needed to be just a tad bit faster or a tad bit slower, you do have the ability to do so. So I think that's really cool that they added that feature in. So it's really more specific when it comes to building, X and Y, scope sensitivity, pretty much every sensitivity in the game. So with all that specific, I still kept it at the same, a 0.65 with an ADS of 0.5, controller scope of 5, and a building sensitivity of a 1.35. And one thing that I like to have in my sensitivity, I mean, everybody is different, but for me personally, I think it helps with everything, kind of consistent. As you guys can see, there isn't too much of a disparity really when it comes to any of the settings, the X and Y settings, the ADS settings, and the controller building sensitivity. There really isn't too much of a disparity there, and I think that really helps with my accuracy and just being consistent in this game. I really don't like to have too high of a building sensitivity. I used to try a 1.5. But eventually I decided I can lower it, and I was still able to build pretty quickly on the sensitivity. So I decided to keep it as low as possible, and that's what I would recommend, just keeping it as low as possible to the point where you can edit very quickly and to the point where you can do exactly what you want to do. Because you don't want to have it too fast, because I really think if you have it too quickly, then it's going to mess with your aim too much. And one thing that I do plan on doing since the editing sensitivity came out, I do plan on trying to raise my building sensitivity from a 1.35 to a 1.4. And for the reason you can just edit quickly, and honestly, since I tried out the new editing sensitivity, the 1.35 editing sensitivity is honestly really quick. I've been able to maneuver and edit very quickly, go through builds, and honestly it works really well for me. But I want to try out a 1.4 because you never know, it could work out even better. So it's something that I want to try, and I'm definitely going to let you guys know in the future videos if it works out or if I change it. but I definitely want to give it a try just to see how it is, because I think it might work better, and honestly I think it's going to be a good change for me. And there's one thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to changing your sensitivity, and this is just personal preference, but I honestly think this is true for whatever reason. But honestly, when it comes to changing your sensitivity, I feel like it is much easier when it comes to adjusting your sensitivity. Because once you change your sensitivity, it's really going to mess you up for at least a few days, because you have to get used to the sensitivity in order to get good with it. So trying out a new sensitivity for only a few hours or even a few days really isn't going to be ideal, because you're really not going to have a good idea if it's going to work well for you or not. Because once you change your sensitivity initially, you're going to be pretty bad with it, you're going to be missing shots, your building is going to be a little rough, so obviously it's going to take a little bit of time to get used to. But when it comes to changing your sensitivity, when it comes to that part, I do believe it is way easier to get used to a lower sensitivity than it is to get to a higher sensitivity. So if you're raising your sensitivity, I think it's going to take you even longer to get used to than if you lower it. And for the reason is, when it comes to lowering your sensitivity, because once you lower it, so if you go from 8 to like a 7.5 or even a 7, it's going to be even easier to get used to, just because it's slowed down. And once you have a slowed down sensitivity, it's going to be even easier to aim, because you're going to have way more time to line up your shots and just everything like that. But if you go to raise your sensitivity, it's going to be much harder to get used to. And I feel like the reason for that is because once you raise your sensitivity, it makes it so the shots go much quicker and the building is much quicker, so you're going to be overdoing it. So just getting used to pressing lighter on your analog stick is, I think, in my opinion, much harder to get used to than it is to lower your sensitivity. So if any of you guys feel like you want to try out a lower sensitivity, I would highly recommend it. I think it's going to be a lot easier for you guys to try out, but I wouldn't go too low. I don't think anywhere below a 5 is going to be anything good at all. So I wouldn't even go below a 6 in my opinion. So that's the lowest sensitivity I would go to. And for building sensitivity with the editing out, and I already think it's much quicker, I really wouldn't even go above like a 1.6, just because I feel like it's going to be way too hard to control your aim, just because the editing sensitivity is going to be so much higher. But for those of you guys who like playground or just like to edit really quickly, go through editing courses, then obviously a higher sensitivity for building and for editing is going to make it much easier to go through those courses more efficiently. And there's a few more things that I wanted to talk about in relation to the settings. And honestly, for me personally, I have the same X and Y sensitivity. I just feel like it's a lot more easier and a lot more consistent. And it really got kind of weird when it came to editing, because the X and Y sensitivity was different. But for a lot of players, they run a different X and Y sensitivity, which is not a bad idea. I think it's a pretty good one. But if you decide to have a different X and Y sensitivity, you have to make sure that your X sensitivity is going to be the sensitivity that's higher. And for the reason of that is, for the X sensitivity, that's the sensitivity when you look left to right, because when it comes to building, it's more important that you can do, kind of left to right when it comes to walls. And then your Y sensitivity you want to have a little bit lower, because if you have a higher Y sensitivity, it's really going to be strange, because your up and down sensitivity is going to be a lot higher than your left to right, meaning you're probably going to miss a lot more shots. And for me, I've tried it once just to see how it is, and trust me, my accuracy was so bad I would never ever try it again. It honestly just didn't feel right, so I would recommend never trying it. So a higher X than Y sensitivity would be the way to go. And when it comes to having a higher X and Y sensitivity, I would try to make sure not to go more than 1 point. So I would say a 7.6 or a 7.5. I would stay in between that kind of ranges. I wouldn't go from like a 7 to like a 5.5. I just feel like a jump like that might be too much. So when it comes to, looking up and down or left or right, it's really going to mess you up, and you're going to be missing way more shots, because it's going to be kind of strange, because there's going to be certain movements where you think you're looking left or right, but you're really looking up to down. It's going to throw you off pretty bad. So I would also recommend just not having that much of a disparity in your sensitivity, but if you do, I would keep it within 1. But for settings, that's all I have for you guys in this video, and I'm going to put my settings up on the screen one last time for you guys to see. And so this is my settings: 0.65, a 0.5 controller targeting sensitivity, a 0.5 controller scope sensitivity, a 1.35 building sensitivity, but like I said, I'm going to try a 1.4 just to see how it goes, and I will for sure let you guys know how it goes. And with that being said, that's going to wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope this video helped you guys out, and if you could, drop a like with this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on my notifications to be notified for every single new video. And alright guys, I'll see you next video.